writing your content for a cluster, you ultimately don't want to use the same content over and over again because only one page is really going to be effective.
This
So you
is
want to have unique
Google
content,
Keywords
and that way
Tools.
you'll give yourself the best chance to rank for as many phrases as possible. So anyway, so now that we have our clusters, I'm going to, we use this as our map. So this cluster sheet is our map. So when we do on-page optimization, we refer to this list. And when we do off-site optimization, which is link building, we refer to this list. So today, again, we're only talking about on-site optimization. And next time we'll talk about link building. So the first thing that you want to optimize on your web page is your title tag. Now, this is arguably the most important on-site factor. So there's a couple rules of, guidelines to follow when you're doing your title tag. So the first, let me show you where a title tag shows up. So you do a search for handmade burp cloths again. In the search results page, your title tag actually is what's at the top here, blue and underlined. So this is my wife's blog again. And so her title tag is right here. So when you actually go to the page on her site, if you look up at the top left in the browser, that same wording shows up here in the title tag up at the very top left. So it's not really on the page like where people look, but it is part of the page that Google reads. The search engines read this text. It's the first text that they read on the page, which is why it's one of the most important things you can do. One of the most important places to put your keyword phrases. So that's the location of the title tag. So a couple of tips or guidelines to follow. Usually you want your title tag to be less than 70 characters because over here in Google, when it exceeds 70 characters, they just add an ellipsis at the end, because they don't put more than 70 characters. They don't show you more. So that doesn't mean they won't read it. They still do read past 70 characters, but it's not shown to a human being when they do a search here. So usually that's about 8 to 10 words, depending on how long your words are. So, and that's including the spaces. So this space between handmade and baby is counted as a character. So, but that being said, don't be scared to test longer, different lengths of title tags. So in this case, on her title tag, I used to only have 8 words, and then I came back and I added burp cloth tutorial up here at the top. Now it's 11 words long. Unless you count the name here, it's probably 13 words. But anyway, it's a little longer than 10, so I broke my guidelines, but I'm okay with that because you know what? I added this phrase here. I still rank well for handmade baby burp cloth, and now I rank better for baby burp cloth tutorial. I used to rank number 35 or so, and now I'm 15 or 16. And so that was a good change. It is okay to test different title tags. Sometimes people get really scared. They don't want to change their title tag. But to be honest with you, if you make a change to your title tag and your rankings drop, you can just put your title tag right back to what it was before, and as soon as Google sees that you changed it back, your rankings will come right back to where you were. It's not like a penalty that you're going to be out of the search engine forever. So it's worth testing different title tags, and if you rank for more phrases by doing so, then that was a good thing. So, anyway, if we look at the cluster sheet for this specific cluster, I did a search for burp cloths, handmade burp cloths, and so I created this cluster for my wife's site. I forgot to add the URL here, but here it is. So this is the URL that's assigned to this cluster. So again, when I'm making my title tag, I highlighted the ones that I want to rank for the most, and I try and include these words, at least some of these words, in the title tag. Now you got to remember keyword prominence. So the first word that is seen is given the most importance. So I chose to focus mostly on handmade burp cloths, even though it wasn't a hot search volume. But so that's the first thing I put in the title tag: handmade baby burp cloths. So I added the word baby there, but that's the phrase that's the most importance. And then later on, when I realized I was ranking on, number 35 for burp cloth tutorial, I decided that I would put that second. Over here, it searched for 480 times, so that gives it, some importance as well. And as I said, it moved up to number 16, just making that one change.
So out of everything on your entire website, every page, everything you've written, that title is the most important thing to Google. Google puts the most weight on that.
It's arguably the most important on-page factor. Link building is really the most important thing you can do, but you want to do both on-site optimization and link building. And so when you're just optimizing a web page, the title tag is the most important place to put your keywords.
Awesome, thank you.
So now, so just as an example, with my friend's website that he's building, on his cluster sheet, you can do the title tags in a few different ways. So one example, by looking at these phrases over here that I want to rank for, the title tag I might use for him is online video marketing, because you see video marketing is the search for the most. Online video marketing is the second most, so I just put online video marketing first. Dash, recreate. So I was looking at these phrases last night, viral, web, video, and then I came up with, how I would do the title tag based off of the phrases I'm going after. So if you notice here, this title tag is 8 words long. I use this phrase in the title tag, this phrase. I use the word viral over here. So I got this, whole phrase in there somewhere. I got video marketing here, and I got viral here. I didn't use the word internet for there, but and actually what I'll do for services, I'll say online web or video marketing services. So now I'm incorporating this phrase as well, and I got the word web in there as well. So I'm incorporating almost all of these phrases right here on my title tag. It reads well, it's not spammy. A human being might click on it because, I tell them that we create viral web videos, and so they may be interested to click on it in the search results. So ultimately, try and use as many words as you can from your cluster, but don't just do keyword phrase, comma, keyword phrase, comma, keyword phrase, comma, that's standard. So again, write for a human being, but remember to keep the search engine in mind. So, but again, that doesn't mean that's the only way I could do the title tag. So I was looking at this, well, what if I want to, it's going to be harder most likely to rank for online video marketing because it's searched for more. And that's just, that may not be true, but most likely it is based off the search volume. And so I might actually want to optimize for internet video marketing first, put that phrase first in my title tag. It'll be easier to rank for. And then, so I might do a title tag like this, still trying to utilize as many of these phrases as possible. So do something like that. So it's a little bit longer, but now I have internet video marketing first. I still have my main phrase right at the beginning, video marketing, right? But I include internet video marketing first, because I might rank for that quicker. So you don't always need to put the phrase, phrases that are searched for the most first, because if I can rank for this one faster, then it makes sense that I would optimize for that first, because I want traffic as soon as possible.
Awesome, that makes sense.
Anyway, so that's the title tag. Again, just put the most important keyword phrases first. Try to utilize as many of your main phrases from the cluster as possible, and generally, keep it between 8 and 10 words. But don't be scared to test a few more words. If you can rank for more phrases and it doesn't hurt the ranking of, the main ones, then it's a good move. So, anyway, that's how I do my title tags. The next place to optimize, the next on-page factor, technically doesn't show up on the page, but it's called the meta description. Now, the meta description does not help your rankings whatsoever, but it is important for another reason, which is why we still optimize it. So, the meta description, if it's optimized, Google will show your meta description right here as the 2 lines of black text on the search results page. So this is the meta description of my web page. The way you can find is if you're on the page itself, you go to View, Page Source, and it opens up the HTML code for the web page, and then it's usually at the top somewhere. I just do a search for the word description, so it's a meta description. So anyway, I added this, and I was reading this last night. It doesn't really make it's kind of bad grammar, but bird cloth tutorial written out in video. Learn how to make a custom handmade baby bird cloth. So I included, a couple of phrases for my cluster: handmade baby bird cloth tutorial. And so since I included that in the meta description, Google used it, and they usually will use your meta description if you include a keyword phrase. And they bolded the phrases that I typed in. So I typed in handmade baby bird cloths. So they used my meta description because it included those words.
So does every page have a different meta description?
Yes, every page should have a unique meta description, specifically talking about what that page talks about or what it contains, what information it gives. And now, again, this does not help my rankings whatsoever by having this optimized, but what it does is Google will use this, even though I'm not.
56 characters on description.
So there's no ellipsis, which shows up right here. So that's so for his cluster, looking at his cluster sheet. Where is it? So his cluster Forex trading course. Here's his cluster sheet, and I use that as the H1 tag. So anyway, so that's the header tag. But an alternative, you don't have to just use a keyword phrase. So I could have used, say, why you need a Forex trading course. So, a sentence or something that's compelling, but include the keyword phrase in there as well. So that's just an option. The next thing is alt text. So alt text is the text that shows up when you hover over an image. So if we go to the webinar page of our website, that's promoting this webinar. So over my image, we could have just had the alt text Boyd Norwood, because that's a picture of Boyd Norwood, of me. But we decided to add on page SEO webinar by Boyd Norwood. So I am telling, so basically with my alt text, I like to explain what the image is about, but still use my keyword phrases. So I don't just go through a page and stuff all the alt text images, alt text on all the images, which is the keyword phrase. I write what the image is about and include a keyword phrase. So in this case, we want to rank for on-page SEO webinar. So that's what we added to that picture.
So Google will look at the alt text for your images, and that will help you with your keywords?
Yes, so that's one more place that Google can read content and have the phrase Forex trading course in here, several times, because it's my main phrase. But do I have the word training in there? So what I want to do is just search for the word training. So I do have the word training in there twice. Now, if I could say, it would be better if I came back and said, rebuild a foundation, then move you to more advanced Forex training. So then I got, most of that phrase together, Forex training. Do I have the word free in there? I have it in there several times. And then in this scenario, I have it free online Forex trading course. So I have that phrase pretty well taken care of. So I looked through this. I don't have the word reviews. So I could add a sentence and maybe review a few things. I think I have the word best. I can't remember if I have the word best. I have the word best in there. Again, it's not, it doesn't say best Forex course, but I do have the word best, which helps me rank for best Forex course because I have Forex course in here and best. So basically, I just use my whole, this is why I don't delete the words from my cluster. When I mentioned earlier, I paste in the whole list Google gives me. I don't delete phrases because when I write the content, I want to try and include as many of these modifier words as possible. Because that's going to help you rank for lots of long tail phrases. And long tail, that just means phrases that are 3, 4, 5 words long. People search for a lot more than just these phrases here. They search for, free Forex video course system. Someone might search for that. It's not search for a whole bunch, but I'm going to rank for it because I have all those phrases all those words in my content.
And that's really important because people are becoming smarter searchers. And when you want to buy a pair of shoes, you don't just type in shoes anymore. You type, like for me, I type in, my favorite shoes are Franco's, so I type in black, Franco, pump, Nordstrom's, because I know where I want to buy it, I know what I want to buy, and I know my description. So people are becoming really smart when it comes to search. So the nice thing about making sure you rank for those long-tailed keyword phrases is most likely when someone types that phrase in and then they find your website, they're going to buy from you, or they're going to take the action you want them to take.